I've got one that can see.
Logic before authority. Hi guys, this is Daniel Alexander Cannon here on Logic Before Authority. We're going to take a look into something that's related to something that's, well, you're going to see. TONGA. Now, how could TONGA be related to this? If you know what this image is, give you a little bit more hint. Okay? If you can read that. I know it might be small on some of your devices. It says Tunguska. Okay? Let's talk about coincidence or coincidences. Okay? I recorded this video the other day. Unfortunately, the audio didn't take for some reason, but I've got it fixed now for sure. So we're going to do this again, but we're going to do it better with more information. I decided to take the fact that it didn't record the audio to double down on it and do a better job. So let's jump into this. We all know that on January 14th, that there was an explosion right outside the island of Tonga, and that at 11:09, I know it shows 10 right here, but this explosion had already started at this point. So it should be 11:09. 11:09. This is our first coincidence. If you reverse those numbers, 11 and 9, what do you have? Now, that was the exact time that the so-called volcanic eruption took place. Coincidence number one. Coincidence number two, this is the area of the world where those in power like to blow up stuff and test new weapons. The Sandwich Islands and those areas, which ain't that far from here. Do you recall that? They tested numerous, what they call nuclear, thermonuclear weapons out in that area, out in this area, back in the 50s, okay? Did a lot of weapons testing out there. That's coinkydink number two, okay? Most of y'all guys, let me move this forward so you can see the explosion, right? You see, you can even see red in the explosion. It's a really nice looking mushroom cloud, isn't it? Very round and uniform. Just blowing up and then settling down and going away. You know? Wasn't that long, just a matter of time before it was all fading off and everything was calming down, wasn't it? Just one big boom. Right? You reckon that's another coinkydink? I'll let you be the judge. However, one thing that a lot of you probably don't even know is that the day before, on the 13th, they had a previous kaboom. Yep. At approximately 10:30. I think this is Eastern time, which is my time, which is New York time, which is Ground Zero's time. So when this one went off at 11:09, it was at Ground Zero time in New York City, you know. And that might be coinkydink number 4. And then we've got this one, which took place at approximately 10:30 or 10:29, right in there. And the previous day, and it wasn't as big, but it was definitely big. I mean, huge. You can see it come up here. This is 10-minute steps. See the ripples? The ripples in the mushroom cloud? I mean, that's what it looked like. I'm sure if you were on the ground there looking at it. Matter of fact, I've seen some of the video, and yeah, mushroom cloud. Nice and perfectly round. Quinky dink number 5. And we got that reddish color again. Nice reddish glow. That reddish glow that we've seen in those events. You have to remember that reddish glow was showing up 60, 70 miles away from the epicenter. This is a long distance from here to here, or here to here. That is a very long distance for that reddish glow that we all seen in that explosion, right? And I don't know this for sure, but I'm suspicious, okay? You know me, and if you don't know me, well, I'm suspicious of a lot of things, because most of the things in this world are never not what they seem. And the fact to have 2 of these explosions back to back, and all the other little quinky dinks that I've mentioned, is a little surprising. Now, we're going to look a lot further into this, about what this might be, and what I suspect is that we're talking about a test of a weapon, okay? Why would I say something like that? Well, they were talking about it over here. In La Palma, they said the politicians suggest bombing erupting La Palma volcano to stop lava flow, which is absolutely insanely idiotic and ridiculous to think you can stop lava flow by blowing up a volcano. But that's what they said. That was back on November of 2021. Here's another one. Politician asked if we could simply blow La Palma volcano up. Now, they're going to blow the volcano up, see the lava and everything, see how close it is to all the homes. And what kind of ridiculous statement was that? Who would make that statement? No one. Unless they were planting the seed of part of their plans, the way they do this, and the way they like to plant little hints and stuff, right? And so they just thought, well, you got, well, for instance, I did these 4 videos here and this one, and they were all about the predictive programming. If you haven't seen these are good watches. The predictive programming that has been put out there about this type of thing happening. And what do you think the coincidence is? This is going to be Quink number 6. That all of a sudden, back in October or so, when La Palma started going off, and we start talking about a volcano exploding and causing a tsunami. Now, no, La Palma didn't happen yet, but Tonga did, supposedly. It blew up and caused a tsunami that went across the entire North Pacific, and Southern Pacific, to come from down here, right about in here, and have waves strike all the way in Alaska. That was a pretty good test so that you could measure how much explosion, how much energy, like scalar technology energy that Tesla is said to invent. Okay. How much energy would it take to create, let's just say a 3-foot wave on the West Coast, and maybe a 4-foot one in Hawaii, and let's run. How much energy would it take to run to make these things happen? It's going to be a test, so we're not going to flood everything, destroy everything else, but just want to run a few tests. Would they have gotten their answer from these potential tests? Yeah, they would. They would have a real live running drill, you might say, to determine what it would take. And they were able to blow up a volcano down here and get waves on the west coast of the United States. Yeah. Pretty interesting, right? So, let us continue on here. Before I continue on with all of this, I want to show you one thing. You see this? I mentioned this one time quite a while back in a video, but this is actually probably the most untalked about, very strange situation going on. See all these little red dots? Yeah. Those are all volcanic islands. All of them miles apart. Okay? You see, let's see if there's any way to measure here with this. No way to measure. Okay. Well, point is, they're still miles apart. From here to here, from these little red dots, which are volcanic islands that are showing heat. That's what I've got turned on right now, is the heat. So this is lava basically coming up out of the ocean on a little small island that the lava has produced. And how many do we have? Well, I've been watching this almost daily for about 2.5, 3 months, something like that, if not longer. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 at least, because if you zoom in, you can kind of see even some more. Okay? And these are what I say. Let me hit play. Watch right here the stream of smoke coming off of that right here. See that stream of smoke? Right there. And I could go back previous days and do the same thing again, and you could watch the smoke streaming off of it again. See it there? See that stream of smoke coming up here? Yep. So we have, I mean, what the heck is this down here? This is in the southern Gulf. Okay, southern Gulf of Mexico. And my question is what the heck is this down here? Basically, we got a group of underwater volcanoes that are all just sitting down here, cooking away, erupting daily, and no one's talking about it. I mean, what'd I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 different volcanic vents that are open in the Gulf of Mexico, and it's not on the news? What? I mean, La Palma had 3 vents, and it was all over everywhere. This has got 16 vents. The size of this thing, this volcano under this water must be massive. Now, I'm not saying it's necessarily massively tall, but it is a massive bed of volcanic vents, and those things tend to do crazy things sometimes. So, I wanted to bring this back to your attention, that this exists down here. And there are some other ones that show that they're over the water too, but I'm not so sure what the deal is here. Now, these are fires that are on the land in here, and these things update every day. I can back up and you can see some of them will disappear and then come back other days. But out here over this ocean, we know it's fire because there's smoke. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Okay, so I'm bringing that to y'all guys' attention. We got a volcano in the Gulf of Mexico. 16 of them grouped all together in a bunch of vents that are open. Alert, alert. Anyways, okay. So, I showed you that talking about planting it in the subconscious minds of the public about blowing up a volcano, which is ridiculous, obviously, and it's done for a purpose. Okay, but now let's talk about, I said the weapon. Okay, when I was talking about a potential weapons test in the Tonga area, which is close to the Sandwich Islands and all that area, where they did like a dozen huge mushroom clouds, right? And if you look out there for the Tonga event, you see this. And a lot of people have seen this, and they say, a meteor came out of the skies and come down and blew up right above the ground. And well, we can't find any fragments of it, but it was huge, and it blew down everything and left this scar in the earth where nothing will grow, right? That's the story. Well, let's look a little more at the story. Okay, so this is the location according to multiple websites. Let me use this one to see if it's working any better in a moment. Yeah. This is the location according to the coordinates of multiple websites saying this is the location. Now, where is that little round area at with no grass growing? If you look here, they say that this is the entire affected area, okay, of the Tunguska event, and that this is the main ground zero, okay? See, it says Tunguska ground zero. Now, what does the word ground zero mean? It means the place where a weapons test has taken place. Huh? Yeah. Just like New York City, they called it ground zero for a purpose. It's where a weapons test takes place. Don't believe me? Look it up. Okay? Can't do everything for everybody. So, we got this main area here, right? So let's look at that main area. We can look at it better over here. And that is this. Okay? We can zoom on in here pretty good and look around. What do we got here? Well, we got a bunch of dry riverbed and swamp is what we got, or lake bed and swamp. This area looks like it's still maybe wet down here, and this area over here is more dry, okay? And you got a bunch of rusty looking area, and again, it's dry lake bed, okay? All this area up here, over here and stuff. But where's the little round thing at? Well, you can find a bunch of them. Here's one right here. You could say, that's it. That's it right there. Or you could come over up here, maybe, and you could say, yeah, that's where it hit and the grass won't grow back. Or maybe you could come over here and you could say, that's it right there. That's where the grass won't grow back. What I'm pointing out is that this kind of topography is everywhere here. I mean, you can find it all over. It's not hard to find an area that looks like this. There's a whole bunch of it right down here. Right? So, what's the deal? Well, the deal is, just like normal, we've been lied to again. Can you believe it? Again? Yeah. Now, I haven't just jumped on this today about this tie between a scalar weapon type thing that Tesla is credited with when this went off in 1908, which he happened to be testing the scalar weapon technology that he had invented in 1908. And I'm not the only one suggesting this kind of information. I'll show you what I mean. Let's see here. You can go to the Tesla Memorial Society of New York, and they've got an article on their website. Mysterious Tesla explosion of 1908 in Siberia may be linked to Tesla's experiments with wireless electricity transmission, which is what scalar weaponry is related to. Okay, being able to cause an enormous lightning strike, like a lightning strike of God, just coming down and annihilating everything for a large area. If you could figure out how to manipulate that type of thing. Now, have they shown that they have the ability to create lightning weapons? Yes, they have. Go look it up. Go look it up. They've learned how to make lightning weapons, okay? You see, and they go through all this here and explain basically that this weapon technology was the cause of this massive explosion. So could Tonka have been a test of this technology? I don't think we should wash that off the table too quick, do you? And why are they testing it now? What is it that they've got planned? Here's another called the New Scientist website. Tesla and Tunguska. And it goes into talking about exactly what I was just saying, is that there is a possibility that Tesla did it. Okay. They called it the death ray. These days it's called more like scalar weapon technology. Okay. And then you can find they've built it into a lot of books and even cartoons and movies. There's a book called Against the Day by Thomas Pynchon. Okay. And in the book, it talks about ultimately that Tesla blew up Tunguska. Okay. Here's another book. It's called Conspiracies by F. Paul Wilson. And again, it goes into and talks about Tesla causing Tunguska, or the technology that they were testing back then. Okay. And here's your living lightning Marvel Comics superhero. He's called Living Lightning. This is the weapon in cartoon form. Okay. And they do this kind of stuff. You know, they will create a character that's based off of something totally different, like a weapon, for instance. Living lightning. So ultimately, again, saying man has control of lightning. You see? Yeah. Let's see here. They've got another superhero called Shooting Star. Really? They've got another one called Texas Twister. And another one called Firebird. Why do you reckon they do this stuff? They're just being imaginative and having fun, right? No, they're not. These are ways that they tell us, the ones that's got their eyes and ears open, like you, that these are weapons that they have. Yeah, that's right. Tomorrowland was a video and a book, and it also went into the same thing as well, talking about Tunguska and the control of lightning and it being man-made. Not a rock falling out of the heavens that none of us here can prove one has ever fallen. Oh, but I seen it on TV. Yeah, sure you did. Sure you did. You've seen a lot of things on TV. That's why they call it television with programming. Yep. Here's another book, or something, a cartoon, graphic novel cartoon, that also depicted the same thing again. And a animated movie or comic book series that, again, talks about Nikola Tesla, and in here talked about Tunguska, that Tesla did it. Yep. Isn't that amazing? So I hope you found that information very interesting, something to keep in mind. And I want to bring to your attention that I am doing a Bread for My Brother fundraiser, which typically when I do these, put it this way, there's no good deed going unpunished when you do things like this. But I've got some people that I know personally that are in need, real need. And whether it be, well, I'll give you an example. I know a gentleman, nicest guy you ever want to meet, fully awake about all the pandemic and all these things, fully aware of the government and the corruption and everything. And he was forced to, they said they wanted him to take the jabbo or they were going to fire him. So he didn't wait for him to fire him. He quit. He was a truck driver up north. Was it Michigan? I'll have to double check my notes. But he had a lot of people around him turn on him. And he basically just sold everything he had. And it's kind of extreme in my way of thinking, but hey, it's what he chose to do. He left on a bicycle from up north, was it Michigan or somewhere's up north, and rode his bicycle all the way to Florida. A bicycle. Reminds me of a guy I met a few years ago that came from New Jersey carrying a 4x4 cross on his shoulders all the way to Florida. Seriously, I met him. And I've met this guy that I'm telling you about. But he's now in Florida, and I'm in communication with him. And he's trying to establish a way that he can get mail or be able to set up an account. Because all this was very devastating to him. And I can tell you, he's I can see it in his eyes, because I've met this guy in person. When he was coming down through here, I met him. And he's just a really nice human being that's been smashed in the head by the system. And everything he's been able to gain, has been taken away from him. And this is just one of the stories. We'll call him Josh, okay? And that is his name, actually, Josh. And I just can't sit here doing what I do knowing that I have the ability, if I try, to help some people. And I've got about a half a dozen people on the list. I'll be telling you about more of them. And I'll be updating you on Josh and letting you know what he does and how we're able to help him and so on. I'll make sure to do all that. And I'm also going to, any money that's raised in this fundraiser, which we've already raised 427, thank God, I'm going to show where it all goes, and it'll all be verifiable. And if you don't trust me, you shouldn't be donating to start with. If I'm the person that you're worried about stealing your money and doing something wrong with it, I don't know what you're doing on my channel, you know? But anyways, I want to help these guys, but I can't do it without you. PayPal has a way you can raise funds, and it has a $20,000 limit. I don't know if I can raise $20,000, but I'm going to try. And if I can, I'll be able to pull all 6 of these people out of bad places. And maybe I even have a little bit of money left over to help some others. But I need your help. These strangers that we don't know are our brothers and our sisters. It's our duty to do what we can. And there's nothing wrong with just donating $1. If everyone that heard my video, heard my voice today, donated $1, we'd hit the goal easily. So, but that's going to be up to you. You got to live with what you do in this life, because I'm doing my part. And you're going to have to do yours or do something else. But we got to do good in this life. I ain't saying this is the answer to all doing good, but I'm saying this is an opportunity for you. And if you can't afford to donate but $1 or $5 or something like that, that's not too small. It's fine. You'll be part of what we're doing here. Okay? All right. I love you guys. Father loves you too. I hope you gained some good knowledge from this video, some things to keep in mind and consider with upcoming events, especially world-level events where things may explode in the skies, and know what they're up to. Don't let them fool you. And I'll be here doing what I do. I love you. Our Father in heaven loves you. And we'll talk to you again real soon. This has been Daniel Alexander Cannon with a little bit better voice now here on Logic Before Authority.